back in black in the building. What is going on? Did Jesus come back? Ah, damn. You mean he didn't come back? All this hooping and hollering and speaking in tongue and all this bullshit. And you still dealing with the white supremacists going to ooze upside your head. Shout out to everybody out there at the Core Plantation. If you're not, hey, shout out to my brother Dave for No Compromise. My brother James Youngblood, man, y'all had me so excited to do that live, man. I appreciate it. We did a live about they cloned Tyrone. So we're gonna do a part 2 really and just discuss his image, everything. Shout out to everybody out there. Erica, Shawnee, Florida, Philly in the building. Mariah Vegas, Tasha Vegas, Angie, all of them. Miss Tanya Latanya, Arizona in the building. My homegirl, Melina, shout out to her, North Carolina in the building as well. Hey, shout out to everybody out there, man, that's handling business and doing what they need to do to survive. I am your broke host, Warren G, the place to be. Been clown and sucker free since 2003. From 93 to 2003, you wake up real quickly. So ain't no finesse to me. Shout out to everybody out there, man. Y'all know who it is, man. Y'all know what it ain't. Let's get into it, man. We're going to have a great discussion today. We're going to talk about, is image everything? Is it? We're going to discuss a little bit if they clone Tyrone, but we're going to talk about just about image and imagery and how it's portrayed and how it makes us look in the eyes of the dominant society. So we're going to get into it, man. I've been having a lot of conversations with a lot of people about just behavior at the Core Plantation and just how we conduct ourselves outside of that. We're going to discuss some Neely Fuller Jr., the 4-wall effect, and how we can get over that. But let's get into it. Don't have me to get to singing, nigga. Yeah, 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 yeah. Ooh, ooh. Nah, I'm just fucking with y'all. Shit, I don't sing no more. I ain't sang in years. I'm like Eddie Kane Jr. Nah. Y'all know what it is. Don't have me. But anyway, man, we gonna get into it, man. We gonna discuss it. Is image everything? Man, David, James Youngblood, Tasha, all y'all. I highly suggest y'all go watch this movie on Netflix. Not just a clone Tyrone, but go watch this movie called Soft and Quiet, or Quiet and Soft. It's about these dominant society ladies, white ladies, who I don't know where they are at, but one lady's a teacher, and she's secretly a white supremacist. And they had this meeting at this church, and it was about mothers of Aryan Nation. And they were talking about black folk and how we complain a lot. It's a very, 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 very good movie. The dialogue is great. It starts off slow, but there's so many hidden jewels in it. And when I watched it, I said, wow. Wow. And they captured everything. The main lady that was racist, she was a teacher. So she's teaching kids, but she's having meetings about mothers of Aryan nationhood or some shit like that. And I said, wow. And then they just ended up killing somebody. They had the Asians in there kind of playing the nigger role, but you know, I didn't really agree with that. But it was still a great movie to really kind of get you on game and how they feel and how they portray us. Oh, they were saying the most vicious, vile things, but the things that they were saying is how the dominant society really views and sees us. That's why I said it's image everything. Because you can portray an image of something and people can break that apart. You can portray the most perfect image, you know what I'm saying, of your people and who you are. They'll pick that apart. You can portray a fucked up image. They'll pick that apart. That's why I said it's image everything. This is my personal opinion. I would love to ask David this question, James Youngblood this question. This is my personal opinion. I think before we work on image, we need to work on intrinsic value. And the only reason why I say that is because we don't, like I said, we don't want to respect each other, rely on each other in a good way, have conversations with each other, and find solutions that can help each other. We don't want to do that. And what I mean by that, let's just take the Core Plantation for an example. Core Plantation, man, most black folk, they get on the Core Plantation, like I said before, and they figure out how they gonna move up while stepping on the next nigga's head. We don't think about, let's get together with all my other foundational Black Americans, or Native Blacks, as Dr. Claude Anderson calls it. Let's get together with them. Let's see what we can do. And I don't think we do that enough because of intrinsic value. And this is just my opinion. David, James Youngblood, I can't wait to get your opinion. I love when we agree to disagree. I love it. I feel like we're more worried about image than anything else. And I feel like that's a good focus to have at times, but I think at times it should be a good focus. If you watch They Clone Tyrone, it was very good, man, because they had every different scenario, but they packed it all into the Black person's experience. You had Fontaine, who was kind of the hustler. You know, you didn't know if he was a drug dealer. You didn't know what he had going on. And you had Slick, which is the pimp, but he was from the 70s. But, you know, we talked about all that before. But if you thought about it as a collective, they didn't always agree, right? They did not always agree about a lot of shit, especially when it came to going to that underground fucking lair. But they all were on code when it was time to rise up and handle business. And I think they were less worried about an image in that movie, and they were more worried about survival. And within survival, they were able to stick to being on code. And I think that's what we need to be worried about. Are we on code with each other? Do we even like being around each other? You say, why you say that, Warren? Because a lot of times, man, like I said, you on the court plantation, you off the court plantation, Black folks sometimes they don't want to deal with each other. They don't like each other. But then we will stand behind this false sense of an image. You know what I mean? And sometimes I just feel like your image is one thing, right? But togetherness is another. And I feel like we need to work more on being on code. I'm not saying dealing with people's bullshit, tolerating the sucker shit, doing all that. I'm just saying as far as being on code. Because that's one thing we don't establish. I was having this conversation with one of the homegirls. I always have it at work, but I was having a conversation with one of the homegirls, and I was just like, look, like being on code does not mean you can't get along with other racial groups. It doesn't mean that at all. Stop. I'm talking to my dog right now. Yeah, nigga, I'm talking to you. But you know, it does not mean you cannot be on code with your own people and still get along with other racial groups. Other racial groups get along with Black people fine, but they know how to be on code, and I think that's what we need to more focus on. That's just me. You know, I get it. Image is everything in certain aspects of the game. In terms of an overall perspective of natives, Native Black folk, foundational Black Americans, freedmen, you know what I mean? I think that image as a whole, we should have a better image of who we are. But I think before we get to the imagery, I think we need to get to the being on code and establishing a code and establishing a moral compass of who you are. What do you mean more by moral compass? Meaning like if you come across a young Black brother and they're seeking information and you have that information, morally, you should be willing to give that young Black person that information. But I think a lot of the times we don't want each other to get a one-up on each other, so we don't want to divulge that information. You know what I mean? Just think about it. Just think about it. A lot of times we don't like to see each other win. This is the reason why we don't like to see each other win. Like I said, I had an instance. I put it on Instagram, but I had an instance I was dealing with this. I wasn't with a person reached out to me on some joint venture shit about the CMOS. I've talked about this before, but when they reached out to me, we had a conversation. I like having a lot of conversation with people. David and James Youngblood is probably the extent of conversations I would like to have because I feel like it's productive. But I had a conversation with this sister, and she was a very nice sister and all, but I feel like we were just wasting time. And when it's time to conduct business, we have to be business minded. And when we were conducting business, when you are reaching out to do a joint venture with someone, you don't try to interrupt what they got going on. You want to have this conversation, and then you're like, okay, I gotta go. and then you don't hear from the person again, and then they message you on Instagram 6 days later talking about, oh, I decided to go with somebody else. I just think that's you're lacking couth, decorum, and tact. If I was to reach out, let's say I want to do a business venture with James Youngblood or David from No Compromise. The first thing I'm gonna do, and let's think about that. Let's really think about it. That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm taking the time. Think about it. Business. We're not talking about friendship, homie, my nigga shit. No, business. If I want to do a business venture with David from No Compromise or James Youngblood, I'm going to just use them as an example. Warren should already have out some type of written contract or just something written of what I'm bringing to the table and what I would want him to bring to the table, and we can sit down and talk about it, right? Like, hey, David, I want to do some business with you. Let me send you an email of what I was thinking about. See, I never got no email. See, when it comes to the dominant society, we always want to do business and pop our collar. But when it comes to each other, we don't want to do business the right way. We just want to do some nigga shit and just let's talk on the phone. Nah, man. Sometimes let's do business and conduct business in decency and in order. I never got a contract. I never got an email or anything. It was just like asking me questions about the CMOS, and then this person's trying to like be in competition. And if they know more than me about CMOS, I was like, man, I'm like, okay, so let's get down to it. What's the numbers? What are you looking for? What's the product? But I never got an email, but I still entertained it anyway. So then after this person decided to go with another person, man, cool, be down, do your thing. I'm not tripping. It's not a big deal to me. Then this person 2 weeks later reached out again talking about, hey, I would like to order some CMOS from you, and can you have it ready by Wednesday? That's when I was like, I want to say, see, this is the problem with us in our community. You cannot dictate the pace to somebody else's business when you want something. Like you're BET or MTV or CBS. Like, I get it that we're supposed to have confidence in our business, right? I get that. I understand that. But you should have confidence in your business, and you should have confidence enough to send me a contract and an email of what you expect and what you want. And if I don't want to move forward with you, then that's what we can discuss in an email. But all this wasting time and going back and forth is very disheartening. I ain't gonna put the sister's business out there, but in my personal opinion, I think the bitch thinks she's better than what she is. That's just my opinion. I don't give a fuck if you hear the shit or not. I'm just telling you what it is. Shout out to the Dope Analog Bookstore. Shout out to Raw Remedy. Shout out to all of them, man. And it ain't them. They were very nice, very cordial. Never no problems. I love them sisters at that bookstore. Them sisters was dope. But this particular person, I just was not feeling their business acumen. And like I said, if I try to reach out to David to do a business venture, I don't send him a contract. I don't send him an email of what I'm bringing to the table, what it would look like if we on business together. And I'm just on the phone running my mouth to David, and then David don't hear from me in a week. Then I go with somebody else, and then I reach back out to David. David has all the fucking right to look at Warren as a bullshit motherfucker. And that's the problem with us. We don't want to establish a code of what we want to do with each other. We want to treat white people like gold, and we want to treat each other like shit, like bronze. And it's like, I think we need to change it around. We need to start treating each other with a little bit of decency and respect, no matter what. My mom used to have this saying, y'all, that asses you kick on the way up will be the asses you kiss on the way down. So that's why you want to treat everybody with decency and respect. You don't want to just kind of play around with people, especially black businesses. And I just was like, I'm thinking in my head the whole time, like, why would you want to do this shit with me? Like, I don't even want to go there with nobody, but why would you want to do that? I think because we're more sometimes concerned with the image behind our business, but we're not concerned with being on code with each other. See, the dominant society, Jewish community, they don't give a fuck how much they don't like each other. They're gonna be on code. They're gonna do business with each other, and they're gonna do it in decency and respect, because there's a honor and a code of conduct within their community. And I feel like when you watch they cloned Tyrone, no matter they were all from different perspectives and vantage points, when it came time Despite the dominant society, they put that shit to the side and got on code real quick. Just at the end, it told the truth of how Fontaine felt. Because that's how a lot of black people feel. They feel like, fuck it, why try to change this shit? We ain't gonna change it. It's gonna stay the same anyway. And I think we need to be more worried about that. And the only reason why I'm saying that is, and I bring that shit up, is because if I don't pursue you in business and you're bothering me, yes, you were bothering me, bugging the fuck out of me, and then all of a sudden you want to play all these games, I feel like that's a lack of intrinsic value in yourself and in the people that look like you. It is. I don't care who you with. I don't care who you fuck. I don't care about none. That shit don't bother me. I don't care. Like I told y'all before, nigga try to, there's like 2003, nigga try to make me feel bad. Cause I was like, nigga, I'll fuck with whoever fuck with me. And it was a sister there, her name was Special K. I'll tell the story again. And she gave me a lot of props because she was just like, Warren, I give you a lot of props because a lot of people wouldn't know how to deal with that. I said, man, I'm my own motherfucker. Ain't no nigga go tell me who the fuck I can fuck with. I fuck with who fuck with me. And I remember I told Special K, I just said, I'm just whoever I did. I don't care what race they are, Asian, I'm not going to be doing no sucker shit. And I said that in 03. I ain't going to be doing no bullshit. Just because if I dated Filipino, all of a sudden you ain't going to hear me talking about Lumpia and all the Lumpia and all the other shit. No. Warren going to still be talking about the shit that I like. Pizza, fried chicken, all the other shit that I love. Soul food. You're not going to deter me away from who the fuck I am. That's the problem too. A lot of us, whoever dates outside their race, you take on that culture and leave your culture behind. I remember Russell Simmons, he did MTV Cribs. He had all his Asian artifacts in his house when he was with Kimora Lee Simmons. All this Asian artifact shit. And I'll never forget, my mom watched that shit. My mom was like, damn, he ain't got no black shit in there. He got all Asian shit because he with this Asian broad, right? And I never forgot that. My mom was like, damn, nigga. And I was thinking the same thing. It was so funny because my mom was like, she didn't even care about what he was dating. She just looking at him like, well, nigga, you know you black. And that's the problem. Don't take on their fucking culture. They got to take on your culture. Our culture is the best culture. I'm talking about the culture of being foundational black Americans, building this country for free without repaying it. Give them some books to read. Understand that. Because I don't get involved in that. This nigga trying to tell me that shit. I was laughing at their ass. I was like, y'all niggas, nigga, I'm not doing what y'all want me to do. I'm doing what the fuck I want to do. That doesn't change who I am. Nigga, I know I'm black. I don't give a fuck. And Special K, she was we would call her like our OG, older black sister. And she straight out told me, she said, Warren, that's one of the things that I like about you. I was like, what? Special K, she was like, cuz you are who you are and you're not finna let nobody. I was like, these niggas is not finna make me feel bad. I love my sisters. I love my culture. Man, no. And anybody that's up under me, they're gonna adopt and adapt to my culture and they gonna be the fuck away from me. And I said that in 2003. So that shit ain't never changed. And I think that's what it is. Because we're so prone about our image. And when I mean individual image. When I mean individual image, I mean like, you know, we gotta wear the Jordans, we gotta have the Air Max, we gotta have a fresh haircut, we gotta have a fresh white tee, fresh 501 jeans, shoes gotta be clean, car gotta be fresh, rims gotta be shining. We put so much pressure on ourselves imagery-wise, we don't have no energy left to give to the code of conduct that we're supposed to have. Think about that. Nigga, growing up in LA, you gotta get dressed up just to go to the liquor store. Just to go up the street, just to go get gas. You better go get gas. Nigga put on a fresh white tee, some 501 jeans, some polos, some Nauticas, some DKNY, some Jordans, some Air Max, fresh cut. Man, where you going to go get gas? Nigga, you just going to go get gas. Where you going? Going to the car wash? You dressed up to go to the car wash? Yeah, nigga, you never know who you might run into. Image in the wrong way. And we want to be in competition with each other so bad. And I'd be like, why? We're on the same team. As Dr. Clyde Anderson says, racism is a team sport. How you gonna be on the same team, but y'all in competition with each other? That's like being on the same basketball team and you trying to outdo each other to score the most points. That's not gonna work when you're playing another team. That's together. That's why I said it's image everything. Go watch that movie. They cloned Tyrone. Look at the image that is portrayed, but look at the hidden messages of what was being done to them. All the stumbling blocks that was put in front of them. and see how they were able to overcome that in the beginning, to stick together, establish a code to fight the dominant society. Hey man, I got nothing but love. Let's handle business. Let's have intrinsic value in each other. David, James Young Blood, man, I can't wait to do another live with y'all brothers. Those are my OGs. James Young Blood, David from No Compromise. Those are my OGs. I hope y'all watch the live. You will never hear David speak anything unless he's quoting a book. That's why he's my OG. You don't hear this nigga just running his mouth. This nigga be like, yeah, Warren G. And that nigga be like, and Amos Wilson said, woo. I be like, God damn. This nigga, man. But you know what? All David does is make me stay on my toes and keep that education going and keep it flowing. That's why I love that brother to death, man. That's why I always pumping him up. That's why I always be telling him, hey, man, you the OG. I've told him this before. You're going to be real. You're going to be a force to be reckoned with. And all these motherfuckers that doubted you and didn't think you was going to do it, I'm going to just be laughing at their asses. Because he's my OG. That brother's very thorough. Nigga don't just be running his mouth talking about, yeah, man, Warren, and woo, 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 woo. Him and James Blood. Them niggas don't just be running their mouth. These niggas be reading them books. So that's why he's my OG, and I got nothing but love for that brother, man. I suggest y'all go listen to his podcast. Follow him on Instagram. The brother's doing real big things, and I'm proud to see that because, man, that's what we need in our communities across the United States of America Incorporated. And, hey, man, I love y'all. Y'all know what it is. Guilty, nigga. I'm out. Peace.